Dear students, today we are going to start a new topic of chromatography, that is gas chromatography or GC. See, till now we have learned about the basics of chromatography. We have also covered the theory and instrumentation of common and simple chromatographic techniques such as column chromatography, thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography, etc. We have also understood the theory and instrumentation of HPLC, which is an advanced and sophisticated chromatographic technique. So, why we are studying GC? What makes it different from other chromatographic techniques? What is its instrumentation? On which principal instrument of GC works? We will cover all these points in the today's session, that is the theory and instrumentation of gas chromatography. Now, before going to the detail in the gas chromatography, you people must have knowledge of different types of mobile and stationary phase, which we have already covered in our previous lectures. You should know the concept of hydrophobicity and hydrophilicity, and along with these, you must have the knowledge of diffusion of analyte in between the liquid and gas phases. At the end of this session, you will be able to understand the instrumentation and theory of gas chromatography. You will be able to explain the different types of column used in gas chromatography instrument as well as their applicability. And finally, you will be able to explain the types and applicability of detectors used in gas chromatography, that is actually based on the type of solutes that has to be separated and identified using the gas chromatography instrument. On this slide, we have a small animation on the theory and instrumentation of GC. After this animation, we will discuss all the points in detail. The first question is, what is gas chromatography? Is a technique used in analytical chemistry to separate or analyze compounds that can be vaporized. The vaporization is a process of liquid changing to gas. This is liquid phase, this is gaseous phase. Molecules are further apart. GC sample is a liquid. Now have a look of typical GC setup. This is a cylinder that has mobile gas. The mobile gas is a carrier gas. The gas flows through the system and carries the injection sample to the column. Carrier gas must be dry, free of oxygen and chemically inert. The inert gas which does not easily undergo chemical reactions. Helium is the most used as a carrier gas as it has a larger range of flow rates and is compatible with the many detectors. Nitrogen, argon and hydrogen can also be used over here. This is the injector which is used to inject the mobile phase to the instrument. The vaporization chamber is typically heated 50 degrees above the lowest boiling point of the sample and subsequently mixed with the sample. This is a thermostat in which a coiled column is mounted. The thermostat oven serves to control the temperature of the column. Gas chromatographic columns are usually between 1 to 100 meters long and form a helical shape. Column is associated with the detector. On the basis of type of solute, we have used many types of detectors in the gas chromatographic instrument. Common type of gas chromatographic detector are mass spectrophotometer, flame ionization, thermal conductivity and electron capture detector. Finally, the detector is associated with the computer and software system. Here we can check the progress of our process. This is a waste reservoir in which the waste obtained from the process will be collected. Now have a short summary definition. A technique used to isolate volatile components of a mixture depending on the difference of the mode of partition between the flowing mobile phase and the stationary phase. The setup of gas chromatography has mobile phase, injection part, stationary phase, detector and computer and peripheral system for analysis. Thanks for watching this animation. Now we will discuss all the points in detail in further slides. Now, what is gas chromatography? The gas chromatography differs from other forms of chromatography in that the mobile phase is a gas and the components are separated as vapors. It is thus used to separate and detect small molecular weight compounds in the gas phase. The sample is either a gas or a liquid that is vaporized in the injection port. The mobile phase of a gas chromatography is a carrier gas, typically helium, because the helium has low molecular weight and chemically inert. The pressure is applied and the mobile phase moves the analyte through the column. The separation is accomplished using the column coated with the stationary phase. In gas chromatography, the sample is vaporized and injected onto the head of chromatographic column. Illusion is brought about by the flow of an inert gaseous mobile phase. The mobile phase does not interact with the molecule of the analyte. Its only function is to transport the analyte through the column. Gas liquid chromatography is based upon the partition of analyte between the gaseous mobile phase and the liquid phase immobilized on the surface of an inert solid. This is a block diagram of a typical GC instrument. Here you can see a carrier gas tank is joined with a sample injection chamber through a flow regulators, sample injection chamber, column and detectors. These three components are mounted within a thermostat oven which is used to maintain the temperature of the system through the process. The detector has been joined with a data system on which we can monitor the progress of our process. The first component of GC instrument was the carrier gas in a high pressure cylinder with attendant pressure regulator and the flow meters. So the question is, what type of gases can be used in the gas chromatography as a mobile phase? And the quality should be, the gas should be chemically inert. That generally includes helium, nitrogen, hydrogen and argon. Generally, helium is preferred for thermal conductivity detectors because of its high thermal conductivity relative to that of most organic vapors. Nitrogen is preferable with a large consumption of carrier gas is employed because this nitrogen gas is relatively cost effective when we compare this with argon and other gases. The carrier gas from the tank passes through a toggle valve that allows a flow from 1 to 1000 milliliter per minute. It is also mounted with a capillary restrictors and pressure gauge with 1 to 4 atmospheric pressure. Flow rate is generally adjusted by means of a needle valve mounted on the base of the flow meter and controlled by the capillary restrictors. The operating efficiency of gas chromatograph is directly depend on the maintenance of the constant flow rate. Sample injection system is the second and one of the important part of gas chromatography instrument. See, as we know till now that the column efficiency requires that the sample be of suitable size and be introduced as a plug of vapor. Slow injection of oversized sample causes band broadening and resulted in the poor resolution. The most common method of sample injection involves the use of microsyringe to inject a liquid or gaseous sample through a self-sealing silicone rubber diaphragm or septum into a flash vaporizer port located at the head of the column. The sample port is ordinarily about 50 degrees centigrade above the boiling point of the least volatile components of the sample. See, for example, we have 6 components in our mixture. A has the boiling point of 10 degrees centigrade, B has 20, C has 30, D has 40, E has 50 and F has 60 degrees centigrade of boiling point. So the least volatile substance over here will be the F. So the temperature of the pore should be 60 plus 50 is equal to 100 degrees centigrade. Otherwise, the component F will not be vaporized and will not be separated through the gas chromatography column. This is a diagram of sample injection system. This sample injection chamber is joined with a column. I told you that this is mounted with a auto sealed rubber septum. What does auto sealed rubber septum means? Means when we remove the micro syringe from this septum, this will automatically be closed. Here you can see this is a carrier gas inlet, this is a vaporization chamber and this is a glass line. Now coming to the heart of any chromatographic instrument, that is column. There are two types of column used in gas chromatography. The first is packed column and the second is open or capillary column. These packed and capillary column are further divided into subcategories that we will discuss in the next slide. The packed column may be of two types: gas solid chromatographic column and gas liquid chromatographic column. In gas solid chromatographic column, as the name indicated, the stationary phase is of solid phase, whereas in the gas liquid chromatographic column, the stationary phase will be liquid phase in the form of gel. Open tubular capillary column will be of three types: wall coated open tubular capillary column, support coated open tubular or capillary column, or the porous layer open tubular or capillary column. In wall coated open tubular column, the stationary phase is supported by inner wall. In SCOT or support coated open tubular column, the stationary phase supported by a layer of material on the inner wall of the column, whereas in the porous layer open tubular column, it contains layer of porous solid absorbent on the inner wall of the column. The chromatographic columns vary in length from less than 2 meter to 50 meter or more. They are constructed of stainless steel, glass, fused silica or Teflon. In order to fit into an oven for thermostating, they are usually formed as coils having the diameter of 10 to 30 centimeter. In open tubular columns, wall-coated columns are simply capillary tubes coated within a thin layer of stationary phase. In support-coated open tubular columns, the inner surface of the capillary is lined with a thin film of approx 30 micrometer of a support material such as diatomaceous earth. This type of column holds several times as much stationary phase as does a wall-coated column and thus has a greater sample capacity. Packed columns are fabricated from glass, metal like stainless steel, copper and aluminium, or Teflon tubes that typically have length of 2 to 3 meter and inside diameters of 2 to 4 millimeter. These tubes are densely packed with a uniform, finely divided packed material or solid support that is coated with a thin layer of the stationary liquid phase. In order to fit in a thermostating oven, the tubes are formed as coils having diameter of roughly 15 cm. After column, the next part is detectors or detection system of gas chromatography. Before coming to the types of detectors used in the gas chromatography, let's first understand the characteristics of the ideal detector for the gas chromatography instrument. The ideal detector for gas chromatography has the following characteristics. First is adequate sensitivity, good stability and reproducibility, a linear response to solutes that extends over the several orders of magnitude, a temperature range from room temperature to at least 400 degrees centigrade, a short response time that is independent of the flow rate, high reliability and easy of use, similarity in the response towards all solutes or a highly selective response toward one or more classes of solutes, non-destructive of sample. The flame ionization detector is the most widely used detector which is generally applicable for gas chromatography instrument. In this detector, the effluent from the column is mixed with the hydrogen and air and then heated electrically. Most organic compounds, when pyrolyzed at the temperature of a hydrogen-air flame, produce ions and electrons that can conduct electricity through the flame. A potential of few hundred volts is applied. The resulting current is then measured. The flame ionization detector exhibits a high sensitivity, large linear response range, and low noise. A disadvantage of the flame ionization detector is that it is a destructive of sample. This is the diagram of flame ionization detector. Here you can see this is a flame of hydrogen and air. This flame ionized the sample coming from the column, due to which the electrons will be generated that forms electric current by applying the external potential difference. The second and the earliest detector used in the gas chromatography is thermal conductivity detector. This is the one that still finds wide application, which is based upon changes in the thermal conductivity of the gas stream brought about by the presence of analyte molecules. The sensing element of TCT is an electrically heated element whose temperature at constant electrical power depends on the thermal conductivity of the surrounding gas. The heated element may be a fine platinum, gold or tungsten wire or a semiconducting thermistor. The advantage of the thermal conductivity detector is its simplicity, its large linear dynamic range, its general response to both organic and inorganic species, and its non-destructive character, which permits collection of solutes after detection. A limitation of the cathodometer is its relatively low sensitivity. Other detectors exceed this sensitivity by factors as large as 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 7. This is a diagram of thermal conductivity detector. This is a reference cell and this is a sample cell. In reference cell, the conductivity of the mobile phase without sample will be measured, and in this sample cell, the conductivity of the gas with sample will be measured, and the conductivity difference between the reference and sample will be calculated. Now, the next detector is electron capture detector. As the name indicated, this detector is based on the capturing of electrons from the samples which are electronegative in nature. The electron capture detector has become one of the most widely used detectors for environmental samples because this detector selectivity detects halogen-containing compounds such as pesticides and polychlorinated biphenyls. The effluent from the column is passed over the beta emitter, usually nickel 63. An electron from the emitter causes ionization of the gas and the production of the burst of electrons. In the absence of organic species, a constant standing current between the pair of electrodes results from the ionization process. The current decreases markedly, however, in the presence of the organic molecules that tend to capture electrons. The electron capture detector is selective in its response, being highly sensitive to molecules containing electronegative functional groups such as halogens, peroxides, quinones, and nitro groups. It is insensitive to functional groups such as amines, alcohols, and hydrocarbons. An important application of the electron capture detector has been for the detection and determination of the chlorinated insecticides. Now this is a diagram of your electron capture detector. You can see this is a beta emitter and we know that beta emitter emits electrons. This electrode, when eject electron, the electron will be attracted by the positively charged electrode in the absence of electronegative component. Now suppose your mobile phase is having The molecules which are electronegative in nature. This electronegative molecule will capture the electron generated from this beta emitter plate, and it will result in the decrease of the electric current. The decrease of the electric current will signify the presence of electronegative molecules in the sample, and the extent in the decrease will also be helped in the quantification of the molecules. Thanks for now. We will take your queries in the class. Bye bye.